All right, guys, today we're going to be talking about fractional distance, kind of like midpoint. Midpoint was halfway between, right? So, but now we're going to be dealing with more fractions, one third, one fourth, and so on. So now we're breaking up in pieces. Okay. So fractional distance is when you divide the distance into equal pieces, right? Fractional distance, we talked about midpoint again. Midpoint was halfway between. So when we were looking for the distance between C and E, we take the distance. Remember, it's like x2 minus x1. So 2 minus -4, right? And you can count the distance. So 2 minus -4, because we're looking for the difference of the two. Remember right here, when we have 2 minus -4, we got to change. So that's why we end up with 6. Okay. And then because it's halfway, what we want to do with that 6 is we want to multiply it by the given fraction. So we're going to multiply 6 times 1/2. And that's how we get 3. Then we add the fractional distance to the start point. So our start point was C. So from C to E, right? So here's -4. We're going to add 3. So if I add 3, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And -1 is going to be halfway distance between C and E. Okay, now this time we're going to do the 1/3 distance. Okay, 1/3 distance from W to Z. Okay, we're going to subtract 4 minus -5, right? Find the difference. Okay, 4 minus -5 gives us a positive 9. Again, change. Okay, then multiply the distance and the given fraction. So we're not looking for 1/2 now, we're looking for 1/3. So we want 1/3, 9 times 1/3. Well, when we multiply, we get 9 times 1/3 equals 3. So we add from the starting point, again, W to Z. So we're going to add 3. And basically, you're just moving to the right 3 on a number line. 1, 2, 3. So right here at -2 would be 1/3 the distance from W to Z. Okay. This right here, 1, 2, 3, 1/3. So -2 is 1/3 of distance. So this is, if this is 1/3 right here, I just want to add this. This part is 1/3 right here. Then that means the rest is 2/3. Right? Want to make sure that we understand that because that might come into play later on. Okay. So now let's find the 1/3 distance from using our number line, or not our number line, sorry, our planes, right? Our XY plane. All right. We're going to use the 1/3 distance for our points, X to Y. So from X to Y, remember, these are our starting point X to end point Y. So we can do the same thing. We use our distance formula, or not, yeah, we can use our distance formula multiplied by 1/3, but we got to get our X and Y values. So in that case, that means we got to find the difference of the two. So in order to do that, we got to do the Pythagorean, not the Pythagorean theorem. We just got to find the differences in the vertical and the horizontal distance, right? So this is what we're looking for. And then we'll multiply it times 1/3, right? Because that's our fraction. Okay, so when we find our differences, it's going to be x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. So 5 minus -3. Okay, and then y2 minus y1. y2 minus y1. 6 minus -6. Okay, there's our numbers. Remember, don't forget to do change. We get 8. Then we multiply the distance times 1/3 for each. So the difference in our x values is 8. The difference in our y values is 12 because we're looking for a very specific point. Okay, so in order to get those coordinates, I'm going to take this 8 value and I'll multiply it by 1/3. Okay, 8 times 1/3 is 8/3, or 2 and 1/3. Okay, or 2 and 2/3, sorry. And then 12 times 1/3 is 4. So now these are our difference numbers. This isn't our point. Okay, remember, this isn't a point. What we're going to do with these two values, the 4 and the 8/3, is we're going to add them to our starting points, which is -3 comma -6. So in the calculator, I would take -3 plus 8/3. Okay, and then -6 plus 4. So -3 plus 8/3 is -1/3. And -6 plus 4 is -2. So M being our point at -1/3. So here's about -1. So here's -1/3. We'll say it right about here. Or sorry, -1/3. That's going to be right about here. Okay. And then -2. X would be -2. Wait a minute. Yeah. So x is negative 1/3. I'm sorry. X is negative 1/3 and y would be 2. So right here is where you're going to find m. Sorry, x comma y. So negative 1/3 for x, negative 2 for y, and this is point m. This point m is 1/3 the distance from x to y. So again, I want to reiterate, this is 1/3, then this is 2/3 for later on. What I did was I took the x values, okay, x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1. That's what I'm doing here with you for these values. I'm taking the difference of the two values so that I can find my horizontal distance, okay, distance from x to x, and my vertical distance, distance from y to y. See, 6 minus negative 6, okay, 5 minus negative 3, right? I want to make sure that's how we get it. 5 minus negative 3. All right. Then once I find those differences between the x's and between the y's, I multiply each by the fractional distance, which is 1/3. 8 1/3 equals 8/3. 12 times 1/3 is 4. Then this isn't my coordinate. 8/3 and 4 is not my coordinate. These are the numbers that I add to my starting point, which is x. Negative 3 plus 8/3 gives me negative 1/3. Negative 6 plus 4 gives me negative 2. Now, how did I get this negative 3? Negative 3 is my starting point for the x. Negative 6 is my starting point right here for this point x, the y value. And that's how we get the fractional distance, guys. Hopefully you have a good day. Let me know if you need any help. Please feel free to ask me to flag you or stay after school tutoring. Thank you.